Welcome to Art with Ian. Today I want to talk about a topic that I have been avoiding on this channel because it's not something I really want to talk about or haven't wanted to talk about, but it's becoming just impossible to ignore, and that is how AI is affecting artists, particularly artists who have spent a lifetime working hard at their rendering skills, their ability to render things that feel fairly realistic, or understanding the fundamentals, perspective, reflected light, core shadows, how to get geometry to feel like it's existing in a real lighting scenario and things like that. And I was recently called out by some random person on the internet saying that this image here that I'm going to put up on the screen basically saying that image is AI trash. I presented, and I actually painted that painting in a series on YouTube from the ground up. I presented them with a link so they could see that I was, actually painting it, which they ignored, called me out for trying to promote my YouTube channel, and then said they know AI trash when they see it. So basically, what we have going on here, I'm going to start working on this while I talk, because and this is actually a client project that one of my clients very graciously allowed me to use as I work on it, as an example of the kind of work that's can easily be called out as AI by people who are just on an AI witch hunt at this point. Anyways, let me get in here to where. So you can see like the level of, and I still have texturing and things to do on some of this stuff. Some of it's just still building the basic geometry, but you can see the level of attention and care to detail that's happening in here. I'm gonna be fleshing this out. More people, more things. There's gonna be a vendor in a booth with their stuff here, and I'm still working on the stairs and this kind of stuff going to this temple or whatever. But you can see the attention to detail and the level of trying to bring the render up that's going on here, and people are starting to call stuff AI slop and AI trash when it looks like it has a high level of rendering, because AI is stealing high level of rendering work from artists like me, like you, like anybody else, right? It's stealing our rendering work and cobbling together images that are now basically taking. So whereas 4 years ago, 5 years ago, before the AI disease, I'm going to call it a disease because that's what it is, hit, you do a really, really nice render, and you're going to actually be, you're going to mostly receive praise from people. Like, some people might not like your art, then that's fine. Not liking art because it's not your thing, that's 100% fine, right? That's like an objective, subjective conversation that we've been having around art for forever. And if someone doesn't like my art because they simply don't like it, then fine, absolutely 100% fine with that. But if you're gonna just call my work AI slop, AI trash, because it looks too like it looks like it was too well rendered, it basically looks like the things that AI are going out targeting on the internet and stealing from us without even doing any research into whether or not I'm an actual artist. This is actually a massive problem now. This is a massive problem, because especially, and I mostly want to reach out to young artists on this. If you're like up and coming and you've been working hard and you've had someone calling you out saying, this is AI trash or something like that, or AI slop, and it's like you spent like 10 hours or 20 hours. I've got this painting I'm working on right now. I've got well over a week worth of work into this already, just meticulously going through, developing, just like you see what I'm doing right now, just going through, developing the geometry, finding the designs, finding the, trying to make it feel like actual people live here and it's not just random, stuff, like giving it like slight variety in the like the architectural ideas and stuff like you would see in real cities and things like that. But anyways, to my point though, if you're a young artist and you found this video and you're watching it, do not let these assholes on the internet who are either jealous or just simply want to, they're just people you can't reason with. They're trolls or whatever. Do not let them take away your passion for trying to become good at this. Don't let them take away your desire to be excellent as an artist, because that is, then they win. And we can't have that, because the AI, I mean, it's not going to go away. I'm sad to say. The AI thing is not going to go away, but right now it's a popular trend. It's a craze. And it's becoming like, at first I was really happy to see how many people were starting the backlash for it. But unfortunately, now what we're starting to see is that people are just calling everything AI. If it looks remotely well rendered, if they see like a finger that's slightly out of place, like as if humans haven't been struggling with fingers for the entire the history of art. Why do you think AI can't render fingers? Because it's stealing from artists, and artists struggle with hands. This is not complicated, people. But yeah, so it's you can't let them take away your passion, your desire, your willingness to develop yourself as an artist, because at some point the quality that you have as an artist it's never gonna not be in demand to some degree for some reason or another, kind of a thing, right? So one thing I do suggest though is that you try to stop just making art that looks essentially exactly like all the other art. Like, this is one reason, like one way that you can kind of distinguish yourself at this point now is to stop actually making, very cliche things. Because one of the things AI cannot do yet is actually create things. All it can do is go on the internet and look at stuff and cobble together the ideas, right? Cobble together the work that other people have done. So if you're doing work that looks exactly like everyone else's work, then there's a strong possibility that you're going to get called out for being AI, because your cliche thing, if it looks good or whatever, your cliche thing looks like all the other cliche things. And then anyways, I'm sure you can see the problem there. And that was the one and only time I've been called out for AI, for actually being an AI user and not an actual painter, was I posted fan art, that painting of Link that I did. I got called out for being AI when I posted something that is extremely common cliche, which is a fan art of Link, right? There's a ton of that on the internet, and so it's very easy, very, very easy to see how someone could go, decent rendering of Link, AI, right? And they put zero time, they put zero thought into these things. They just, assholes on the internet, that's something we can't fix. They're gonna be there, they're gonna continue to be there. It's never gonna go away, I'm sorry to say. But try to think about how you can separate yourself as an artist and maintain your value to people who actually need art in their workflows. If you can be a creator, if you can be creative and bring actual design and ideas to the table, then you have a much stronger possibility of... I need to get a different brush. My faithful chalky render brush. If you've ever watched my channel before, you'll know that I use this thing a lot. But I've lost my train of thought now. Anyways, if you want to maintain some semblance of feeling like there's a point to what I'm doing. There's a point to this journey as an artist. And, social media has already made this harder than it should be, because young artists think that getting likes and loves and whatever the hell, social media, having people on social media validate you as an artist has become like this really, really unfortunate part of the art journey for young people. I grew up in a time when social media wasn't even an idea. And so I escaped all that. I did art because I simply love it, and I wanted to do it. It's just part of who I am, fundamentally. And I think most people who do art, even today, that's true as from how they start, but it becomes a trap, quickly becomes a trap. That feeling, that dopamine hit you get when people validate you. It's not like it's not human. It's not like it doesn't make sense. I completely understand. And I mean, I've fallen for the trap in my, probably 4, 5, or 6 years ago. I kind of made a push to try and do like an Instagram thing. And I fell into the trap. And I started getting depressed, and finally I realized like the problem here is that I'm legitimately not enjoying my work unless other people like it enough to tell me that it's to basically validate it as being good, right? And that is a massive problem. Like, you cannot be doing that. You do this stuff because it fulfills you, and not for anyone else but for you. And now if you want to take it to the career level, then you do need to think about what people who would hire you might want out of you. And again, going back to the design conversation, being able to design, being able to create, to come up with ideas is a really, really important and useful tool in your toolkit as an artist now. Like, what I grew up chasing is rendering. That's always been my big thing. Rendering, shadow, light, understanding how all this stuff works. And so it's scary times for me, because now all of a sudden AI comes along and it can just render like me, and like artists who are way better than me. They can just do that in a snap, and people are, and that's becoming a viable tool to people as a means of getting an illustration out. Whereas if I was inventing things as a concept artist, which I do as a cover designer, I do design as well, but still, anyways, that's beside the point. But just being good at rendering is a scary place to be now. So if you can add the ability to invent, the ability to design, and understand what is going to be, what AI can't do, and what is going to continue to be valuable to people who would hire you, that's going to really up your odds of making a career out of this, if that's your goal. But I think, especially if you're a young artist, I think for the beginning part of your time, your journey, just try to just enjoy the feeling of starting with a blank canvas and getting, colors, values, lines, however whatever kind of way you're working. I need to get a lighter here. Whatever way you're working, just enjoy the process of feeling that stuff actually happen. Just the feeling of getting color down, paint down, whether it's sketching on in a sketchbook, whether it's digital sketching, whether it's painting, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy the process of making art, and don't worry about anything else, because if you can't enjoy doing it just for the sake of doing it, then there's no point in wanting a career in it, because you're gonna have when you actually start doing this for work, if you start doing this for work, you're gonna have that moment that hits you where you realize that it doesn't matter if you're in the mood to make art. It doesn't matter if you are feeling down or up as an artist, or it doesn't matter. You're gonna have to get past whatever emotion you're dealing with and make art. That tangent is really bad. I need to not see the tangent where the tip of that is hitting the line of the roof. That's a terrible thing. So I'm just gonna adjust the oh crap. Hit the wrong button. Hit the T instead of the R to rotate, which is a shame. Anyways, the point is you're gonna have to be willing to do this work no matter how you feel. You're gonna have to find a way to dig work out of yourself when you absolutely are not in the mood to paint. And so if you can't just fall deeply in love with this kind of stuff, for no other reason than because you have the passion, right? You have the obsession where, there might be days where you really don't want to do it, but if you go for like a week or something without creating or painting or whatever, you start to feel terrible or whatever. If that's you, there's a strong possibility that this is definitely a viable career path. Trying to get into, doing this for a living or whatever. But anyways, I feel like I'm kind of rambling at this point. The main point of this is that AI is here. It's not going away. People are starting to mistreat artists pretty badly at this point now, because and I do respect that to some degree. It's out of animosity towards what AI is, and I hate AI myself because I just, for lots of reasons, up to and including that it is threatening my livelihood, which is messed up. But don't let people if people are calling you out, calling your work AI slop and that kind of thing, do not let it discourage you. Do not let it stop you. The last thing we need is for real artists, especially real aspiring artists, to stop making art because they get discouraged, and then we have more AI and less real art, right? That's like the worst case scenario at this point. So do not let these people discourage you. I also suggest that you maybe think of in terms of documenting some of your work, like your process, so that you can show people like, nope, not AI. It's literally, here's my sketch, here's my flats, here's my mid-render, here's my texturing work, whatever your process looks like, and then you have that, you kind of have that ability to just be like, no, you're wrong, it's not AI, and yeah, defend yourselves if you feel inclined to do so, but I'm just putting some bounce light here. This really isn't a video necessarily about about the work. I just wanted to work on something while I was talking, so it wouldn't just be me talking into a microphone doing nothing. But anyway, it's sad. It's sad times. It is sad times in the art world, in my opinion. And AI is obviously, it's not just art that this is. It's anything that AI is touching. Music as well. It's really sad. So just hang in there, and keep making the world a place that has hope by continuing to create and make real things, right? Don't give up. Don't let these assholes on the internet chase you away from the thing that you love to do. All right. That's gonna end this one. If you have, if you have a story about something that happened to you, or you just want to talk about this kind of stuff, and you need someone to talk to you about, get in the comments, and I will definitely reply if I can to anyone who wants to talk about it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, share it with your friends, ring the bell for notifications of future videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.